also covering 2 dot points. Identify accommodation as the focusing on objects at different distances, describe its achievements through the change in curvature of the lens and explain its importance, as well as compare the change in refractive power of the lens from rest to maximum accommodation. As we can see in this image, light rays entering the eye from different distances need to be refracted to different degrees to ensure that the rays fall perfectly on the retina and form a clear, focused image. If light rays travel towards the eye from a distant source, the light rays tend to be parallel. This means that they do not have to be refracted much in order to pass through the pupil and fall onto the retina. The lens of the eye can therefore remain in its relaxed and fairly elongated state when viewing distant objects. For distant objects, the curvature of the lens must be relatively flat. When the ciliary muscles are relaxed, they hold the suspensory ligaments taut. These ligaments pull on the lens, keeping it relatively flat and allowing the image of distant objects to be focused on the retina. So the reason why the suspensory ligaments are taut, even though the muscle relaxes, as when the muscle becomes sort of floppy, relaxes, it falls backwards, it becomes smaller and causes the suspensory ligaments to tighten. However, if light rays travel from a close source, for example, reflected off a nearby object, such as your book or even the laptop screen that you're looking at now, the light rays tend to diverge. These rays need to be refracted to a greater degree so that they converge, so come back together, to be directed onto the retina. For this increased refraction of rays, it is necessary for the lens to become rounder, resulting in a focused image forming on the fovea of the retina. The increase in curvature of the lens is brought about by muscle action. So for near vision, the curvature of the lens must be increased, so it must get fatter, as a thicker lens has a greater refractive power and creates a shorter focal length. In this case, the ciliary muscles contract, so they tighten, pulling the sclera forward, causing the suspensory ligaments to slacken. As a result, the lens becomes rounder and its curvature increases, refracting the light to a greater degree and allowing a focused image to fall on the retina for the viewing of closer objects. So accommodation is the term used to describe the focusing of objects at different distances brought about by the changing of the convexity or the shape of the lens and as a result its refractive power. This change in shape of the lens results from the action of the ciliary muscles, which in turn affect the tension of the suspensory ligaments that hold the lens. An easy way to remember how it all works is that close vision requires the muscles to be contracted, so close and contract, C and C, and the result is a round lens, so the C looks slightly round. For far vision, the lens needs to be flattened, so F and F, and the muscles are relaxed. And in this case, when you write a lowercase r, it looks like a little mini version of the letter F. So the refractive power of the lens changes from low in a flatter lens when at rest to a high refractive power in a rounder lens at maximum accommodation. When a person grows older, the lens loses some of its elasticity and cannot alter its shape. There is a tendency for it to remain in its elongated shape with the muscles at rest, resulting in some people becoming long-sighted, where they struggle to see closer objects as they get older. So as you will see in this short video, the lens is able to adjust its curvature quite easily while the lens is in that elastic state where the muscles contracting and relaxing are able to cause the shape to change quite easily.
Accommodation is a healthy eye's ability to focus on objects at any distance, close up, far away, and in between.
So if we just play that again, as we can see, as the flower gets closer, the lens becomes rounder, and as it moves further away, the lens becomes flatter. So that brings us to the end of this video. So what I'd like you to do is to complete the closed passage and the labeling activity that's in your booklet under these dot points in preparation for the first-hand investigation that we will be doing in class to have a look at how accommodation works. and that to-do screen is the wrong one. So if you could just do the closed passage and the labeling activity, that would be great. Thank you.